This is such a powerful thing to talk about today because we're in a new moon also. And new moon energy is really great for manifesting. The timing is divine. This is a powerful day for setting intentions.
Yes, I feel it. I feel it's so powerful today that you're here. So, without further ado, welcome to the fire starter, the
Yes.
manifester, the authentic one, Dominique D'Vita. There's so much I could say about you, but I'm just going to let it fly. Like, truly, this woman is one of the most authentic women that I know, that she inspires me more than she knows because she brings her juice fully to the world as she is. And we need more of that. And as Dominique coached me and been a fire starter for me in my business, also through pleasure, I thought, who better to come on today? And she's going to tell you why today is such a good day. Any day is a good day to talk about pleasure and
Yes.
manifestation of Tantra, but today especially. But there's so much I could say about Dominique, but you're going to feel it with her here yourself. You'll be able to experience it. Just her energy being in this room. She's been a registered nurse for over 35 years, I believe.
Yes. Long time.
So she knows a lot about the body. She knows a lot about our pleasure zones. And she is a Tantra expert, a master life coach, and so much more. Those are the titles, but what she brings to a room and what she brings to a space is out of this world. And I'm honored that she's here today, and everyone else is lucky to hear from you as well. And
Thank you so much.
what else can I say?
I love your dance parties and everything that you do. And I've seen your glow up over the years and how you're showing up even more in your empowered, juicy self. And I love celebrating that and seeing you. I'm like, yes, there
Oh,
Carrie
thank you.
is. That's amazing.
Uh,
And it's so important. And you talked about the energy. And that's the thing that is so important for all of us is that energy is everything. And our energy can be, I want you to think of like two magnets.
mhm.
Sometimes you try to put some magnets together and they repel one another. Other times magnets are drawn to one another. And that's the way our energy is with manifesting. Our energy is either magnetizing things to us or we're having a repelling, pushing away energy, even with subconscious thoughts and beliefs. Or if we're feeling like we're not worthy of something, we can literally be pushing things away. Or like if you're driving a car, then all of a sudden you're like slamming on the brakes or putting it in reverse, right? So you're really not going to get to your destination if you're not aware of the ways that even energetically you're not in alignment to bring those things to you or to be able to course correct as well.
I love it. And let's go more into that. As you know, we're talking about manifestation, but we're talking about it through a tantric door, through the door of
Yes.
pleasure, through your expertise. And I know this is what you teach on, manifestation in this realm. So can you expand on what you just told us there, on repelling and about energy? Expand a little bit more on what you said.
Yeah, because a lot of times, if we're not feeling worthy of something, we may want or desire something, but if we don't truly feel worthy of it, we can push it away. So, some ways that you can see how you might be blocking manifesting is one, is it easy for you to accept compliments?
Mhm.
If every time someone tries to give you a compliment, it makes you feel uncomfortable, that is a limiting belief somewhere in there of feeling unworthy of that. And so then you push it away, or we might get complimented for a blouse that we're wearing. And then we'll just be like, oh, this old thing. Oh, I got it so cheap. We can always say something and try to deflect that. Another thing is, do we feel comfortable asking for help or receiving help from others? Or are we the person that does everything themselves? And that has been something that I've had to face off with a lot. And I think that comes from being a child where I was parentified as a child and my mother was an alcoholic. So my mother wasn't tuned in to my needs. I had to tune into their needs. Whenever you're doing that, if you can't really count on your parents to be there for you in certain ways. And that I had the same experience with my father and a different flavor of that, of not being able to rely on him. He was one side note, he was wanted by the FBI and disappeared from my life for like 5 years from the time, or 7 years from the time I was 8 to 15. And I didn't know why. He just disappeared.
Mhm.
But if you can't count on your caregivers, your mother and father, to be there for you, it will be more challenging for you to rely on other people. You'll be more independent, and I do everything
Yeah.
myself. And right. So, in receiving help or asking for help can be a challenge. And another way that we do this is when we deny ourselves pleasure. Pleasure is medicine. And so, whenever we talk with Tantra, the whole thing about it is not even about, love making. You'll have better love making experiences as a byproduct because you start to be a better lover because you're a better lover to yourself first. And when
I
we can
love
be
that.
our own best lovers, we also attract and manifest better lovers because we're showing the universe how we perceive that we deserve to be treated by the way we're treating ourselves, the way we're speaking to ourselves. And so a lot of people, Pink Tantra focuses on self love. And a lot of people will be like, oh, self love, whatever, and they just think, oh, yawn, that's so boring. I don't think I really need that. Not knowing that the relationship you have with yourself is showing the world how to treat you
Yeah.
by the way that you treat yourself. It's showing you what you're ready to experience by how you're experiencing yourself. So when you start to heal this relationship with yourself and be aware of all the ways that you block things, all the ways you even block love by blocking first love within yourself, you can see, oh, well, these are the blocks or where I'm not comfortable with that. Now, what Tantra focuses in on is your energy centers, or these chakra, chakra centers in our bodies. And at the base of our spine, we have a root chakra. Right above that, a little below our belly button or navel, we have our sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is connected to our pleasure and our creativity. It also connects to our reproductive organs. So many times, especially for women, we can feel shame around our sensuality or be disconnected from our sensuality. Or we think, oh, if I'm a sensually expressed woman and I'm really comfortable with my essence and, and being in my radiant sexiness, that makes me bad or wrong, or I'll get unwanted attention. I could be the victim of something unwanted because I'm bringing attention. How often has it been, if a woman experiences something that's unwelcome, they'll be like, well, what were you wearing? How were you acting? How were you carrying yourself? Always the blame and the responsibility, unfortunately, in our world gets put on women instead of raising boys to know how to be men that know how to love and respect all people and not push their agenda on other people that might not be interested and have the same interests, right? But if we have these fears and we perceive, or we're like, oh, good girls don't behave this way. And I want to be a good girl. I don't want to be labeled as the wild woman. I'm going to tell you, when you can rewild your woman, you will experience a level of freedom and you will be more in your full authenticity. Because a lot of times,
Totally.
these stories that we've been told, from fairy tales to the Disney movies to all these conditioning, especially in our subconscious mind, imprinted on us in a big way at a young age. And we don't even realize that those things are playing out in relationships and how we show up. So we're trying to be a certain way and be the chosen one and have someone come rescue us, like all these little things, right? So we're being the good girl. And it's not good to be the good girl or the Mr. Nice Guy. They say nice guys finish last. Also, good girls finish last.
Yeah.
So what happens though within our chakras and our energy centers is the sacral chakra that is connected to our pleasure and our creativity. If as women we disconnect from that source and we shut down from it, then we are actually disconnecting ourselves from our creation energy, which is manifesting. We don't just
Mhm.
need to create a human life with this energy. We can create the life our heart desires. But if we disconnect from it or think that that's wrong or bad, and we kind of are literally dimming our light, and shutting down our life force that way. Or
Yeah.
we think it's only for someone else, especially if you're a single woman, or if you're a woman and your husband has passed or you didn't want to get remarried. You can think, okay, I'm not in relationship, so I'm not going to have a relationship with my pleasure. Because a lot of times women, we think our pleasure is something that we do with someone else. But
Yeah.
just remember, you are your longest lasting relationship from your first breath to your last. And if anyone deserves to enjoy your body and to feel pleasure in your body, it is you with yourself. And when you can use the pleasure energy with tantric practices and open up all your chakras and have them expanded, it's like you're this beacon of light. You increase your magnetism so that it's almost like you have your Batman signal and
Mhm.
you're transmitting what you're wanting out into the universe by amplifying your energetics. And pleasure is one way. That's one way we often will block ourselves by being so busy. Or even if we have pleasure, we can just give ourselves a quickie. And that
Yeah.
also connects to our ability to receive. Because if we don't allow ourselves to receive pleasure, then we don't have the body that can hold a lot. We're just
Yeah.
quickly like releasing and then closing back down. So all these things are so interconnected. And like the way Carrie, the way you and I met is through our coach, Preston Smiles. And it's just like how you do one thing is how you do everything, and everything touches everything. And it's so true
Yeah. Very much.
regarding pleasure.
Very much. There's so much juice there, and we'll have to go into an example so people can relate. Like, how do they actually manifest that? Because there's so much people know, but it's feeling it. It's just like when you first started saying the ability to receive. When I began actually catching myself in the moment when you receive compliments, I would catch myself and begin to say, "Oh, thank you. I received." It was uncomfortable at first because it's not normal. That was me, is not receiving compliments. Now I do say thank you. I've trained myself to do it. And then the second piece, doing
Receiving
everything
help.
myself.
Mhm.
Yes. And that's still one I'm working on because it's so ingrained in us. So I think we can know all this stuff. It's how do we get the body to go along with us? And the pleasure portal through you and learning also through the other pleasure practices about connecting to the truth and the wild. That's not something we can think our way through, right?
Feel it.
Wow. And when
You
you
know,
said authentic truth, that's what it is. That's like from my experience, that's where it is. And I think so many people are afraid of that. Like you said, the wild, when the wild is our own version of the wild, and that's our truth. Actually, the word wild seems to some people too scary, like they're going jumping off a cliff, but it's our truth, truly. And once I got a taste of that, you really know when you're not in your truth.
most definitely. And one book that I recommend to a lot of my clients is by Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. And in that
Mm,
book, it's a quick read. It's really powerful. And when you read that, it talks about how the world is domesticating us. So when we were put into school systems, especially if you grew up in the United States, Rockefeller created the school systems, and the agenda for the school system is really to create great workers for the factories. So breaking our spirit, having us not question things, having us just go along with what everyone else is doing. If you really think about the education that the majority of people get, we don't get the education on the things that we really need to succeed in the world, about how to have healthy relationships, how to be amazing parents, how to handle our money. They're not teaching us the life skills that we need. They're teaching us how to obey, and they're breaking the spirit. If you think about someone who's breaking a wild horse, they're breaking it so that they can ride it and get it to do, and they can control it, and it will do what they're told to do. You literally sometimes horses have what the blinders on, like they're literally getting you to shut into this thing and not have your own vision
Mhm.
and to do, what is best for others and forget that you came into this body to have an experience. And so rewilding yourself is not about being dangerous because we think of a wild animal, right? And then that's like danger, danger, right? But it's getting us actually back to our truest essence of who we are to begin with and to connect to our true power. And what Tantra will help you do with energy is you said we can have all this information, but how do we do it? The thing is, in schools, we're rewarded for everything we can remember from the neck up. How many facts, how many boring things, like, why do I need to know when someone was born and when they died? And all these boring facts for tests to regurgitate,
Mhm.
right? So we think like knowledge is power and we'll take in all this information, but most of us live and operate from the neck up.
Yeah.
And there's so much wisdom in our body. So, what Tantra helps you do is through your five senses, connect into your body and stop with this overthinking. Because when we're overthinking, we're underfeeling and connect into your body, into your wisdom, into your truth, and discover who you truly are. Because there's a lot of buried treasure that we have in here that we've kind of lost our way from connecting with how powerful we are. And we've been shamed about pleasure. Because when we tap into our pleasure center and we are empowered and we use it as a source of rocket fuel, for our creativity, to tap into our creative genius, to live a life that lights us up from the inside out and that we're really passionate about. Well, we do that, we're unstoppable. And it's hard to control a society of people when they are unstoppable and fully expressed and know who they are authentically. It's better if we're all kind of like robots and following along with the program or the agenda of the people that are in power to speak.
Mm.
But this is about you taking your power back because it's actually more dangerous to be living this life and not know your truth and to not know how powerful you are and forget all the magic you have within you. Because that makes us consumers. That's why we'll consume so many things. We'll buy all these things because we're looking for
Mhm.
something that's missing. We're like, oh, I'll feel this when I get this degree, have the
I
house,
love
the
that.
husband, the kids, the trappings of success. But a lot of
Mhm.
people, when they reach that, they get very depressed and let down because they realize this really is not fulfilling and make me happy.
Yeah. So how do we do it? You said the 5 things, like, if someone is really living from here up, what's the simplest way to tap into that or to begin to?
It's not
Mhm.
always simple. It takes some time, but having a meditation practice. Meditation is a white tantra practice. And meditation will help you with that overthinking monkey mind and get you dropping in and connecting in with your body. So that's one really great thing. Even taking moments to dance. I love how you're always dancing because the three tenets of Tantra are breath, sound, and movement, and dancing
Mhm.
incorporates all. You're breathing more deeply. You're moving your energy in your body instead of keeping it stagnant or stuck. You're sounding as you might be singing or listening to the sound of the music. You think of our ancestors and the tribal nature of even listening to drums and dancing around the fire. This is really important for us to connect to our bodies and to let go of the programming or the subconscious beliefs or the things that are holding us back. So, with our pleasure, when we can use our pleasure and our sacral energy center for creation towards what we're wanting to manifest, that's when we increase our magnetism and we can attract things to us more. But in our world, we're taught like make things happen. We try to force things to happen. I want you to think about water. If you're trying to grab water, you can't grab water. It just runs through your fingers, right? But if you can hold a space for water, then you can actually be a receiver for it and hold it in your hands. Tantra is also a somatic practice. It helps with your nervous system, with your body. So, building the body that can hold the life and the bigness that you're wanting to call in. This is why sometimes when people will win a lottery ticket, they quickly will lose the money because they never had to build up to the capacity of having such a large sum of money, and they almost short circuit themselves because they don't know how to be a steward of that money. It's too big for
Yeah.
them. It throws off their internal thermostat. So our internal thermostat is like, where are we at with receiving? So one thing we can do is, how much pleasure can we receive? How much more joy can we receive? And spending more time doing things that bring us pleasure. And it just doesn't need to be in the bedroom. What in life brings you pleasure? What lights you up?
Mhm.
So more of shining your light and being this beacon of light and raising your energy and your vibration, because law of attraction, like attracts like. So when you want to attract something to yourself, you need to be in resonance, or you need to match in a vibration and energy level to that thing that you're wanting.
Yeah.
And if we're stuck in shame or fear or hate on the emotional frequency scale, the lower vibration frequencies, we're going to attract the lower energetic things to match for us instead
Yeah.
of calling in something bigger that we want. So it all goes into, how is our energy blocked? And what is our ability to receive? And how much joy can we have and still feel safe and not have it short circuit our system?
Yeah, I guess you can really see our ability to receive by what we see already around us. Because you do hear people say, "Well, I do the stuff. I write out this every day. I do the things going towards what I want, but I don't see it." It sounds like they're doing all the right things, but they're not embodying. Like you say, they're not holding the water. They're not
Right.
holding the space. They're doing the things quickly. I got to do that. Got to do that.
It's like a
Yeah.
checklist of like, I'm do. I've got to do this, do this, do this. Remember, we're human beings, not human
Yeah.
doings. So, like, where can you rest and feel relaxed within your body and feel safe so that your nervous system
Hmm.
is regulated, so that you're magnetizing things to you? Because you can try to appear, wear a mask, like I have it all together, but energetically, you could have an energy like the magnets that is repelling and actually pushing the thing you desire away from you, or even the people that you love, you're pushing them away from you because they can feel your stress, even though you're not speaking into it or you're trying to hide it.
Yeah. And I think we can, even as, I mean, coaches and knowing the somatic body really well, I still can go in and out of it. I can still
Of
get
course.
into doing, doing, and I'm like, it's not happening. And then I realize I'm not really doing anything at the moment that is feeding me. And then I realize there's been 1 month where I haven't done Get Your Freak on Fridays dancing. I haven't, and because there's no time because you got to do the other. So I realized in the little bit of the hamster wheel,
Exactly.
and but I also know what to go back into. It's not just about going back into it to check it off. There's that pleasure thing I did. It's more in the pleasure, like, and
Yeah.
and it automatically slows things down.
Yeah. And the meditation slows things down, where you can slow instead of having this kind of frantic energy of like
Yeah.
hustle culture, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day, I was like, wow, sometimes like I get in there too with my business. And I'm like, do I have a business or do I have a busyness? Like things just are always
Ah,
keeping me busy, you know?
yes. Yes, I love that.
So you
It's
have to
true.
really watch it. And then
Wow.
what you're doing too, when you prioritize your pleasure and you put yourself at the top of your to-do list, then you're
Mhm.
showing your worthiness, like to the universe or to source. Like, I know I am deserving of this. And I know that I can slow down enough. And even when we're having pleasure for ourselves as a self-love ritual, don't give yourself a quickie, because I may know how to get from point A to point B really fast because I know my body well. But then if I was with a lover and they took that little time with me, I would be frustrated with them and be like, why aren't you taking your time with me? I don't feel loved. I don't feel cared for. But when we are having pleasure with ourselves, how do we kind of like put a cap on it of what we're able to receive? So even after you may have a moment of climaxing, let's say, instead of running to do cleanup or what is the next thing I've got to do on my list of things to do, Can you just lay there in the literal juiciness of it and just breathe all of that yumminess into the cells of your being? Breathe it all the way from your reproductive organs to the top of your head and really allow all that pleasure to enter all of your cells because pleasure is medicine, it's deeply healing, and allow yourselves to be radiant in that.
Mm.
Because someone that is really into their juiciness and is experiencing those levels of pleasure, they're irresistible. And people won't know why. Then when you go to a meeting later in the day or you have a Zoom meeting, why there's such a big yes to you because they don't know because you're tapping into the power of your creation energy and your turn on is literally turning on your Batman signal.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Oh, yeah. I just want to tap in. If anyone's watching this and has questions, drop them in the chat. Even if it's on the replay, drop them in the chat and we'll get them answered. And Dominique will answer them. You were going to mention about the new moon.
Yes. No, we're in
It's
a new moon, and the new moon is a great time to write down what your intentions are for the next moon cycle. New moons are really powerful portals, again, for setting intentions. And so just tapping into that, and you could even pause for a moment and just place like one hand on your heart and think, I am loved, one hand on your lower belly, and I am safe. And then just breathe deeply into where your hand is on your belly, into your pelvic area. And then breathe in deeply and then exhale from where your hand is on your heart. And just breathe all that in and name one thing you desire this moon cycle, whether that's love, health, success, money, whatever, and just feel it because the feeling is a secret. Feel it in your body as if it's already happened. Because if we always think, I want this, we're kind of keeping a gap of like, we're keeping it away from us and distance instead of feeling into the person that already has this. Imagine in this moment, what would it be like if you already see that number in your bank account, if you already just finished having a romantic dinner with your dream lover, whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest, that is, it's already here and present. And even close your eyes for a moment and visualize it in your mind's eye and hold the vision of that, of you receiving that, and just breathe that. And then imagine that you just have a golden light from your tailbone where your root chakra is. And then it's just rising up slowly, filling up your entire body with that aliveness. And now just take 3 slow, deep breaths, breathing in pleasure, power, purpose, and certainty into every cell. And just smile like an inner smile inside your body to yourself. Like you already have it because you do. It's yours. If there's something on your heart that you've been wanting to manifest, there's a reason you desire that. And one of the key things with manifesting is always say to yourself, I would like this or something better. Because a lot of times we'll put a cap on what we can manifest because we might want something we're playing small. But the universe could bring us more if we allow that and bring out that invitation.
That's this or something better. I love it.
Yes. It's like you're placing your order with the universe.
Yeah, when you take the time, you do that body connection,
Mm-hmm.
you can, even if it's for a moment, you can feel that it's already there. Because it isn't just that it's our desire, mean it's already there
Yes. Somewhere in a
somewhere.
like quantum physics, quantum manifestation, quantum leaping, in some other reality in another dimension, we're already receiving that. Like there is a reason our soul wants that thing. So we're never trying to manifest to control other people because that's not good. You give everyone their free will. You're not trying to make a certain person want you because that's manipulation, not manifestation. But you will say, I like the qualities of this certain thing or this person. I would love to be with someone that has these qualities, but you also need to be an energetic match to those qualities. So if you want a man that has certain qualities, you need to embody the feminine aspects of those masculine qualities because like attracts like.
Give us a quick example of that. So if I want a man, let's say, that is fully there for me, that holds space for me to be the whole package, messy, wild, um, masculine, feminine, the whole package, my athlete, and can understand, hold space, yet have a nice blended balance of his own masculine and feminine, and a man that comes right to me and is very direct. You are my woman. So how do we translate that into
To claim you. It's also the how
to
can you
become that?
reclaim the reclamation of yourself. So how much without judgment can you be present for yourself and fully
Mhm.
accept even the messiness in all parts of yourself
Right.
without being judgmental or critical or making yourself wrong or bad? Because when we are judgmental of ourselves, we're going to attract people that are judgmental of ourselves and themselves as well. So the more you are able to fully be there and also show up and claim the reclamation of yourself, you will have someone else that is willing to claim you. But we can't expect someone else to claim us or fully accept all parts of us if we don't do that for ourselves first. A lot of times we want, oh, okay, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I would be a nice to have if someone did that, but I want that person to do that for me. And then I'll be able to feel that because they're going to show me that I'm worthy. First, it starts here.
Yeah.
And like Preston would say, it's an inside out job. Outer world's a reflection of our inner world. So we have to do the work inside first and have a healthy balance in the parts of our masculine and feminine energy because we're all a mix of masculine and feminine energy. Males are even more so a balance of this because they're the XY chromosome. But because feminine energy has been seen as weak for such a long time in our world, a lot of men will actually push away and not embody or connect with the feminine aspects of themselves because they see it as weakness. So you want someone that's like fully comfortable with themselves, which requires you to be fully comfortable with yourself, your masculine
It,
too.
it's interesting they see it as weakness because when I see that part of a man come out, I see it as it's very attractive.
I used to think vulnerability was a weakness and I realized it was a superpower. I thought my feminine
Is
energy was a weakness. It's the superpower. When we can embody, just like the yin yang symbol, when we can embody both of these aspects of ourselves, we're fully embodying both of those energies and we're fully empowered.
yeah, wow.
And for women,
Well,
I want you to think in a world that is, especially here in the States, but in so many places, the patriarchy rules and has created the worlds we live in, right? For us to, so then a lot of times we don't feel so comfortable with feminine energy, right? But to create something different in a world is really to fully embrace yourself and not make yourself bad or wrong, to be the goddess. So a lot of times women, when we want to be taken seriously in business or be a boss babe or whatever, right? We'll lean a lot, sometimes too much into our masculine energy. And for me, before Tantra, I was very heavy in my masculine because I want to be taken seriously in the business space. I didn't want to be harassed, you know, all these things. And so I was guarded into my masculine energy. But the biggest gift you could give to a man is for you to be able to be your feminine. But a woman needs to feel safe and their nervous system needs to be safe around a man to fully relax and open into the feminine. So that's one part of it. But being in the feminine is, since so much of our world is masculine, it's like such a different energy than the majority of the world shows. And it feels like really beautiful for a man to be able to experience that.
oh yeah.
But they also need to be comfortable with feminine energy too. Unfortunately, right now, there's a lot of men that aren't showing a lot of care and respect for women. So it's really important that we heal childhood wounds that have us not trusting men or women from either mother father wound and how those things can play out.
Wow. I could jam with you all night long, girl. All
You
night
definitely could.
long.
That's what
Uh,
Tantra's about all night long.
all, all night long. There's a song. I think it's
Yeah,
by Lionel Richie.
I think you're right.
Is there anything you want to drop in here just to close off? Any other final statements that you believe people need to hear right now?
Just right now in this world where there's so much chaos and there's
Mhm.
so much more about seeing examples of hate over love and living life from fear instead of living life from a place of love. Going into Tantra really helps to heal from trauma. The three core tenets of Tantra, breath, sound, and movement, for over 5,000 years, are also the three things that in the modern world are used to heal trauma.
Yeah.
So, regulating your nervous system, having emotional regulation will help you have clarity as when we're in challenging times so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and not react to life's challenges, but be able to respond and get
Yeah.
your logical brain on board. And so that's the power of Tantra. And I have an online course and I'm going to be having a group program coming up soon, but we could add in here. I have a free Transform Your Love Life with Tantra Masterclass replay. You take my Tantra quiz and maybe we can drop that in the comments for anyone that might want to check that out because
Let's do that.
there are some resources that we need, especially right now, because things are trying to pull us apart and divide us more. And it
Mhm.
really, when we can stand together and understand each other's challenges, and when we can be a force of love and shine our light, even in the dark times, that's how we can help each other through. And dancing is so key.
Yeah.
So having a dance break during the day, dancing, being in joy,
Key.
having times for pleasure, loving yourself, and don't give up or feel despair. Those are the biggest things that I would say.
Wow. And that's more important more than ever now because when we can do those things, they're much more powerful than the other forces,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So much more. And the things we think are little, like dancing, are big.
Big things.
They're the
Big
big
things.
things.
Yeah. Just think
Yeah.
our ancestors would dance a lot. They would dance almost every day, dance around the fire. There's reasons for this.
And
And
movement and sound, and they were
all
doing
of that.
all the stuff.
Yes. Yes. Just the
Wow.
simplest things can really hit a beautiful reset button for us and support us in challenging times. That they say that back when the AIDS movement, whenever everyone was having so many losses of life initially with that the people that were the most impacted during that time said, like, in the mornings they would be burying their friends and then they would have to go to work, but at night they would dance all night long because that was the thing that during a really hard time would support them and help carry them through. But
Wow.
dance really supports your nervous system and it helps
Yeah.
release that fear energy and calm your nervous system. So when we are in hard times, meditating, dancing, having moments of joy is so important for us. We need it more than ever.
Oh, my
So,
sister, thank you. Thank you for your message of love and light.
yes,
I appreciate you. So you'll drop in the chat about your
I will.
course, your quiz,
Mhm.
and then
Yes.
course
Yeah, the quiz, you take the quiz and then you'll get an email to go into the so
masterclass. Wow. Thank you, my
you're
dear.
welcome. Thank you. Thanks
I'm
everyone for
receiving.
joining us.
You're amazing.
Thank you. And everyone here, remember how amazing you are too.
I repeat that as well. Have a great week, everybody, and you as well, Dominique. And I'm definitely going to
You
see
too.
you live this year,
Oh, I can't wait.
October. Bye.